There's a decapitated ogre head in the frozen meats and goods section at Gar's Bodega. This stopped me in my tracks. So, putting this in a very, very generalized framing, how often do people think about or consider where the meat or ingredients on their plate come from? When they do, some people shift towards vegetarian and vegan diets where their budgets, resources, and health considerations allow them to. It's a complicated topic. Where I'm going with this specifically, I'm fascinated by how a cartoon like OKKO lightly touches on or plays with the question, what is food? The ogre head already opens a big can of worms. I immediately started thinking about Carol's thought bubbles chronicling what a typical shopping trip for her looks like in the episode The Perfect Meal. That sequence includes a minotaur creature that's roughly similar to what Big Bull Demon looks like. What makes this minotaur different from being like Big Bull Demon? At the very least, these examples hint that this fictional world has looser ideas about human or humanoid creatures as food stock. There's already the standing question about food people like Colewort or Drupe. There's a visual gag where Drupe gets physically sick and uncomfortable around strawberries. In KO's Health Week, Colewort finds his grandma in a bowl of miscellaneous veggies. There's no direct answer whether Drupe and Colewort are directly related to static or unmoving fruits and veggies, or not. The cartoon leaves this ambiguous, so the lore probably goes by the rule of what's the funniest or most absurd outcome. Maybe they go by the rules the Amazing World of Gumball plays by. Sapient food stuff and regular food stuff are very different, and it's insulting to imply anything otherwise. In a very condensed nutshell, The Perfect Meal is an appreciative love letter to what it means to see cooking both as an art form and an expression of love. Beardo is wholly dedicated to his craft. Cooking is his life, his art, and his self-expression. He carries selections of his favorite spices, herbs, and other ingredients in his pocket. He can breathe fire, and he uses this ability more to complement what his stovetop can't accomplish. Beardo's nails are fine enough to cut and source his own noodles. What he doesn't have on hand, he'll collect what plants or other resources are nearby and figure out how to turn them into a delectable, artful meal. If all this wasn't enough, Beardo's ideal death is getting cooked and prepared as part of someone else's meal. That's a fascinating philosophy to have in a world that has an implicit, cavalier attitude toward the idea of eat or be eaten. So, the context for this, Beardo joins KO to look for a rare ingredient in hopes of making his mom's favorite meal. When they stumble across the rare Galaxy Truffles, it turns out they're sapient creatures that live in a cave in the mythical woods. They subsist on Mama Truffle's bland, brothy bathwater. This episode was made long before Belle Delphine, okay? The bathwater thing happened the same year OKKO ended. So, if anything, they managed to pull at least one Simpsons future prediction? Well, two, if you consider Plaza Film Festival an ironically fitting comment on the current plague of generative AI. Anyway, Beardo is horrified by Mama Truffle's lack of care for doing anything more than the bare minimum. Yes, she is a premium grade ingredient. Even delicacies are heightened by certain touches, additions, and flourishes. Cooking is considered a science and an art form for good reason. He pulls a page from Senchi's playbook and teaches the truffles how to maximize their flavor. Of course, the scene is punctuated by the gleeful, satisfied reactions every other anime character has to delicious food. Experiencing cooking at its finest raises the truffles to a higher, more enlightened state of existence, and ensures Beardo, KO, and KO's dino friend aren't dinner options. The episode overall definitely makes me feel slightly better as someone that can cook a half-decent grilled cheese sandwich on a good day and lives off of Hot Pockets. The ultimate takeaway is that any meal is better when it's prepared with love and eaten among friends or family. That said, Beardo is a primer on what Senchi accomplishes in greater, deeper depth in Delicious in Dungeon. Seriously, if any fictional character is responsible for getting more people into the kitchen and reading cookbooks, it's second place Tumblr sexy man, Senchi. Actually, I love Delicious in Dungeon because it has such an in-depth, thoughtful exploration on what the greater moral, ethical, and philosophical implications of the food chain are. Why is it acceptable to eat certain creatures? And why are lines drawn the closer to human something is? KO is a little too blasé asking Mama Truffle if he can essentially kidnap and use one of her kids as a cooking ingredient. KO, you could just ask for some of the broth instead. If Beardo is any indication, Senshi would be another example of a brave, innovative hero to KO. At least he'd teach KO what it means to respect the life and ecosystem of the creatures he hunts and prepares. Why does Gar's Bodega sell ogre heads? What are these used for exactly? Feel free to speculate in the comments. Please speculate in the comments. This is dedicated to my new friend that inspired me to want to learn how to cook. You managed to accomplish what Senshi from Dungeon Meshi couldn't. I'm so sorry if this is how you figured out that I make YouTube videos. I swear I talk about plenty more, not this specifically, topics. I'd like to give a shout out to Starberry and Apricity on Patreon. If you donate to my Patreon or Ko-fi and would like a personalized shout out, send me a message and what name you'd like to be referred to as. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment, even if it's unrelated late night shower thoughts. Share this with your family, friends, and your local Saturday morning cartoon villain. If you love OKKO and are looking for some decor, I have something special for you. There's a Voxy Bunch pumpkin patch visit illustration on a leaf-shaped wood panel, and I have a witchy Rednid date night featuring a KO cameo. Halloween's coming, so one of these might be a perfect holiday gift. I have them up on eBay right now. Check them out!